Welcome back to Beyond the Rings, Paris 24 Outreach, 30 short stories in 30 days. My name is Jeff Wells. I have the great privilege of being the founder of Beyond the Rings Big Ministry and having been on the ground over 24 years and 11 different Olympics. 6 summer, 5 winter, if you're counting. That means the next Olympics coming up, winter. Winter 2026 will be Milan Cortina, Italy, February of 2020. Today, though, we're looking back to Paris 2024 and sharing just stories from that outreach. And today's another uh, in the series of Olympic athletes that we met. But more than that, I like to call this one Airport Opportunities. One of my discoveries in the last several Olympic outreaches is as I tend to go, I like to be there, if at all possible, from before the opening ceremony through after the closing. Two reasons for that. I like to arrive early because there's some advanced stuff that needs to take place before the bulk of the team arrives and hit the ground running, making the most of 17 days from opening at the Olympic place. So that's why I like to arrive early. I like to be there about 3 days early if possible. Paris, I was only able to. And then if I'm there for the duration, for the entirety of, I have learned that it's ideal to stick around and fly out the day after the closing ceremonies. For Paris, closing ceremonies were on Sunday, August. And so that meant my flight was heading out on Monday, August 12th. In fact, Brandon and Destiny all flying on different flights. They were on, but we were all flying out the closing ceremony. And here's exactly, even though I was on a different flight, I was actually in a different terminal at the airport. At, um, it is prime opportunity to share with athletes, families returning back home. And I've discovered this and made use of it for the last several Olympics. And give you an example from this Olympic, two counters that I'm just thinking of off the top of my head. One, I don't have the name off the top. I was standing in line at one of the little session paper bookstore just across or up the way from the terminal that my flight would be. I gather up my stuff, I get in line, and I hear the people standing behind me, they're two Americans, talking about how her and her daughter are huge volleyball team. Come to find out, the guy she's talking with, father of a volleyball player. So that's the cool. I love it. I love how God does things like that. So cool. And so they're talking about my first time in Paris. Oh, it's my first Olympic. Of course, me being me, I'm eavesdropping, and then I hurt myself into the. I'm like, wow, your your daughter plays volleyball. Yeah, this is her. Talk to her about her a little bit, and like I said, I've got her name, and then the mom, not the mom, the woman talking with him said, "Well, is this your first time at the Olympics?" And of course, that's a fair question that we hear a lot of. But when you're at your 11th Olympic, that gets attention. And so while the second or third Olympic dad of the first volleyball fan, it was my 11th Olympic. So when you say that, people, what 11? Why? What brought you to 11 Olympics? The open moved the conversation from the general athlete competition. There was gospel. Why? Yeah, I'm part of a ministry. He's penetrating. Talk to people about Jesus' love for them, and they were both very Really? And the dad of the athlete said, she's a Christian, very involved. Gave her love that. The mom's like, our church, we go to a church, I think, and you could even do that. And so I shared a little history of going to the Olympics. So, as I do, whether it's a believer, person who's never heard the gospel before, or somebody I'll give you a opinion if you let me tell you. Yeah, absolutely. We're just standing in line waiting time, waiting to check out anyway. So there were no. So I pull out the gospel pin attached to the gospel card that we go through the whole gospel. They both clear testimony, faith in Christ, and and I gave them the pen for both of them. For the mom, I gave her an extra one to. Now I want you to share this with your daughter. When you say, oh, absolutely, I'll just save it, and and then father athlete, he goes, oh, she'll be so excited to hear this is the thing. It was a great encounter buying snacks for my flight at the terminal the day after. Yeah, day after the ceremony. So that was a great encounter. And if that had been the only one, great, fantastic. It's been a good day, but it wasn't. I make my way on my term, and I don't run into. I see this young woman sitting in a chair in a big terminal, and I recognize her because back when checking our bags for our carrier, this young woman was an Olympic athlete. Walked up to the gate agent who was helping people kind of get in line and right line and all that kind of stuff. And this young woman, the athlete, pulled out her gold medal and said to the gate attendant, I just want to thank you for everything you've done, hard work. There was, you like to get it. And the own young lightness and kind word. And the young athlete gave her the hold by herself to get a picture, just her in the medal. And then she got pictures of the medal. I was I was close enough to hear all this, but I knew that wasn't my conversation, not my place to. While I thought with that, the athlete had gotten in line, I'd have talked to her, would have gone further, but didn't. So it's that athlete by herself, her coach there, and so I set my stuff down and I take a couple of steps. I'm like, "Excuse me, I hate to interrupt you," and I just went on to compliment for the way she treated that gate. So very kind, so very, so polite, so encouraging. And so that opened up a wonderful and I found out that while she represents the, the Monica, um, and her husband actually live and train on the East Coast. And so they were headed back there, and turned out we were all on the same flight. And if you've never heard of the country, the Monica, it's because it's a tiny little Caribbean, 70,000 total. This Caribbean country, and so this was the first Olympic medal country had ever won. And so she was telling me a little bit about her schedule, how she would be back home for a couple of weeks, and going Domin, Dominica. I pronounce it Dominica. It's not Dominican, not related at all to spelled Omin. And but how she was going to then go spend like touring the country, her native country where her mother was American. And and I said, they're going to treat you like royalty. I've already been inundated. And so it was really neat to have that encounter. I shared the gospel with very polite, very open, um, not overly enthusiastic about it, but not negative about it at all either. And so her husband was in the restroom the whole time we were talking. And so I thanked her, gave her my, uh, gave her the Beyond the Rings gospel pin card and kind of asked her if I could get a picture. Like, sure. So I stepped away. And as I was sitting down in my seat, these two little girls walk up and they knew exactly who her name was. I'll look it up because um, Thea LaFond, Thea LaFond. And these girls walked up to her and they're, "You're Thea LaFond. You won the long jump last, won the gold." And they were just standing on her, so nice, so polite. They're like, "Spray pens," and she's like, they're like, "Can we get a picture with you?" Absolutely. And she goes, "Do you want just a picture with me, or do you want a picture with the medal too?" Medal. So then Thea pulls out the medal. They get pictures, and she's very polite. We come back. I'm like, "Hate to bother you, but can I get a picture with the gold medal too?" Absolutely. So here I am with Thea LaFond, gold medal women's triple jump winner, gold medal. And again, like I said, very, very. And another example of why, if you can do it, then my model. Another day, yeah, but very productive for gospel conversation at the airport. Probably would any other time. I mean, I might have ran across her. Who knows? I know also this morning at the right wrap, the first group of athletes I ran into, I didn't even get names, but it was Team Canada's entire women's volleyball team. We're all sitting together, just kind of next to a Starbucks, and they're all wearing their Team Canada warm ups. Know that they're all part of a team. They're all tall women, and so as they were getting up and walking toward their terminal, I'd gotten several pins and cards ready, and I made sure to say, "Hey, just want to give you the gift when you get a chance. Congratulations." Didn't get to share any more than that, but they got the card that had the gospel clue and the Olympic. And so again, airport opportunity, they're some of the best. Some of the reasons why I make it a point, at all possible, at least until day after the have as many gospel at the airport. Thanks for tuning in again today for Beat 430 and 30. Uh, and I invite you, St. Louis area, coming up on September 29th at 3 p.m. For I invite you to join us for the Pairs 24 Outreach Celebration happening at Concord Church out off of Tesson Ferry. We'll be serving desserts and drinks, and the ground team will be sharing stories, pictures, pins, and video from our recent pin trading evangelism outreach 2020. It's all free, but we will be taking a love offering at the end of our celebration as we launch the Italy 2026 Beyond the Rings Outreach Ministry. So thank you for tuning in again today. And until we talk again,